Hi everyone, this is Linda with Total Wreath Design. Today we're going to make an adorable Santa wreath, and this also comes as a kit in my Etsy shop. We're going to start by cutting our 2 colors of mesh at 25 inches each, and I've just doubled up the mesh as you see here. So we're going to cut 9 since I've doubled up on the mesh, and I'm just going to fast forward through the rest of the cutting. Now we're going to attach our mesh and alternate the colors. I'm also using the wreath frame that I made from the Dollar Tree using their wreath form and 18 pipe cleaners. I do have a separate video on how to make that wreath form. When I make my ruffle, I use a chip clip to help hold one of the ends, but what I do is use the woodland ruffle technique, which is, as you can see here, I start by rolling under the ends and then chipping or using the chip clip to hold it, and then I do the same thing on the other end before I make my ruffle. This actually helps with the fraying, and so I use this technique on every mesh wreath that I create. So now we are just going to go around the entire bottom part of the wreath frame, alternating the green and the red border stripe mesh. So I will fast forward through this section. Now that we finished the outside of the wreath form, we are now going to do the same thing on the 6 twist ties on the inside. Once we have all of our mesh placed on our wreath frame, I'm going to take it a step further. Since we are adding a sign to this design, I want to add 2 extra pieces of mesh or 2 extra ruffles to the center of the wreath. And to do that, I just attach a pipe cleaner to the back of the wreath on the frame and make sure to attach them on the crossbars, as you can see in the video. This will help me or give me a place to attach those 2 ruffles that I just made to the wreath, as you can see here in just a second. Now that I have got those extra 2 pieces added to the center of the wreath, you can see how much fuller the wreath is just by adding those. But again, that's optional. That's just my preference anytime I'm going to add a sign. Now that our base is complete, let's cut our ribbon tails. In this design, I'm going to be using 2 2.5-inch ribbons and 2 1.5-inch ribbons. The green glitter ribbon that you see in the picture will be used as an accent in our bow. We'll start by measuring our ribbon tails at 13 inches each. And we're going to cut 9 of each ribbon. Now that we have our ribbon tails cut, let's go ahead and put them in the wreath. I'm going to pair up the red polka dot ribbon with the solid white glitter and the ho 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 with the striped ribbon. And we will just alternate the two pairings throughout the wreath. Just a side note, when I place my ribbon tails in the pipe cleaner, I do not untwist my pipe cleaner. I just put the ribbon tail directly in the pipe cleaner, and then I give it a good 4 or 5 twists and then cut off the excess of the pipe cleaner. We will now continue and put ribbon tails in each pipe cleaner. Now that all of our ribbon tails are in, I go back and cut off all the excess pipe cleaners or the tips of the pipe cleaners and fold them down so you can't see them. You could do it as you're going, but I just choose to do it when I'm done. I just think it looks a lot cleaner with those pipe cleaners cut off. Now let's prepare our Santa sign. Normally for metal signs, you could either punch a hole in them and attach it with a pipe cleaner or a wire, but I like to use mounting squares. And to do that, they already come with a sticky back, but just to make sure they don't come off, I use Gorilla Glue first, and then I'll put the mounting square on that. And then I'll also use hot glue on top of that, just to ensure that the sign doesn't come off. let's make a bow. Again, I'm going to use the 4 ribbons that I used for the ribbon tails in addition to the 1.5 inch green glitter ribbon. I'm going to start with a 7-inch tail. Make sure and twist that ribbon so where the underside of the ribbon is showing before you make your first loop. We're going to make 2 7-inch loops, one on each side. Be sure to give that ribbon a good twist before each loop. We're going to keep this ribbon tail a little longer at approximately 12 inches. Next, we're going to add our green glitter 1.5 inch ribbon, which is just an accent ribbon that I added in. Again, we're going to twist and make a shorter tail. And before we make our first loop, you'll see the underneath of the ribbon. And this loop will be 6 inches. So we'll do 1 loop of this on either side at 6 inches. So what we're going to do is just go down 1 inch each time we add a new ribbon. I'm going to speed this process up, but if you need a tutorial on bow making, please check out my YouTube channel. Now it's time to attach our bow and our adorable Santa sign. When attaching your bow, make sure, well, this is the way I do it. Make sure when you go into the wreath to attach your bow, make sure you're going over mesh so it sits up higher on the wreath. And also make sure when you attach your bow with your pipe cleaners, make sure and attach it, if possible, to one of the crossbars on the wreath form so it doesn't move around. Our glue should be dry now on the back of the sign so we can add our pipe cleaners. Same thing when attaching your sign, try to attach those pipe cleaners to one of the crossbars on the wreath frame. Now that we have our sign attached, we'll go ahead and dovetail the end of our long ribbon tails. And there it is. Look how full this wreath is and how gorgeous that bow is. I didn't show this in the video, but I did add a few little Christmas pics to the design just to finish the look. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this fun Christmas Santa wreath.